Welcome to our presentation on the limits of analysis and the necessity of synthesis. We are diving into a philosophical deconstruction of analytic reductionism, examining why our current approach to complex problems is reaching its ceiling and exploring the postmodern shift required to address 21st-century existential crises. At the heart of modern inquiry lies analysis, the act of dividing the complex into the simple. Its primary goal has always been to uncover the arche, or the ultimate, indivisible foundation of reality. By identifying this causa sui, or self-cause, we have sought a clear, reductionist path to comprehending the world. But as we move down this hierarchy of smaller and smaller units, we must ask, are we reaching the truth, or just losing the bigger picture? The failure of analysis often occurs when the act of division destroys the subject itself. While analytical thinking excels with extensive entities, like a gold bar, where cutting it doesn't change its fundamental nature, it fails completely with intensive entities. For things like living cells, the essence is destroyed the moment we break it apart. When the method of study kills the subject, we have clearly hit a wall. Analytic reductionism has undoubtedly served as the engine driving modern civilization. From ancient atomism to the Cartesian divide that separated the observer from nature, this mode of thought fueled our scientific and industrial revolutions. We built a world of hyper-specialization, but we must acknowledge that this same engine is what defines our current, often fragmented, technological reality. We are now facing the absolute boundaries of these systems. Whether it is Gödel's incompleteness theorems in mathematics, the recurring systemic failures in economics, or the shift from Newtonian mechanics to quantum theory in physics, history shows us that analytical systems eventually reach an unbreakable ceiling when they encounter holistic, fundamental issues. Consider mainstream economics. By mimicking a scientific analysis that ignores non-quantifiable human variables, it traps us in a cycle of catastrophe. We apply reductionist policies, face systemic instability, suffer an economic crash, and then implement a superficial recovery that ignores the root cause, only to repeat the pendulum swing all over again. Global crises like COVID-19 have exposed the fatal blind spots of a purely scientific response. While analysis is brilliant at tracking viral sequencing or developing vaccines, it remains fundamentally incapable of addressing the true causes of ecological emergence. We need to look below the surface to climatic shifts and our philosophical perception of nature to find a holistic synthesis. This brings us to the great divergence between East and West. The West adopted analytic reductionism, leading to unparalleled technological mastery but a mechanistic view of nature. In contrast, the East explored Chön hap il, or the unity of heaven and humanity. While the East lacked the sharp analytical power that fueled global dominance, its holistic capacity offers a necessary counterpoint to Western exclusivism. The tragedy of analytical dominance is that its centralism often degenerates into something far more dangerous. When we treat the world as a mechanistic object for extraction, we facilitate imperialism, exacerbate global inequity, and accelerate ecological destruction. We are witnessing a cascading collapse caused by applying a reductionist lens to a deeply interconnected planetary system. Philosophy moves between two poles: anabasis, the ascent into the virtual or transcendent, and katabasis, the descent into reality. Western thought has focused on deep, narrow analysis within reality, while Eastern traditions have historically excelled in broader, holistic synthesis. Finding a path between these two is essential if we want to move beyond the current limits of our knowledge. We face a paradox of progress. The very tools we used to create our modern achievements are now the ones pushing us to the brink of destruction. We cannot solve existential crises like climate change or systemic economic collapse by relying on the same mechanistic, extractive, and isolationist analytical solutions that created them. To move forward, we need a postmodern synthesis. This isn't about abandoning science, it is about harmonizing the meticulous power of analysis with a broader, holistic integration. By unifying these epistemologies, we can finally stop treating symptoms and start addressing the crises of our era at their roots.